William Smokey Robinson Jr. is an American R&B and soul singer, songwriter, record producer, and former record executive. He was the founder and frontman of the pioneering Motown vocal group The Miracles, for which he was also chief songwriter and producer. He led the group from its 1955 origins, when they were called the Five Chimes, until 1972, when he retired from the group to focus on his role as Motown Records vice president. Robinson returned to the music industry as a solo artist the following year. He left Motown in 1999. Robinson was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1987, and awarded the 2016 Library of Congress Gershwin Prize for his lifetime contributions to popular music. He is a double Hollywood Walk of Fame inductee, as a solo artist, 1983, and as a member of The Miracles, 2009. In 2022, he was inducted into the Black Music and Entertainment Walk of Fame. William Robinson Jr. was born to an African-American father and a mother of African-American and French descent in a poor family in the North End area of Detroit, Michigan. He attended Northern High School, where he was above average academically and a determined athlete. However, his main interest was music, and he formed a doo-wop group named the Five Chimes. He and Aretha Franklin lived several houses from each other on Belmont. He said he'd known Franklin since she was about 5, overhearing her play the piano when he had come to play with her older brother Cecil after her family first moved to Detroit. Robinson's interest in music started during childhood after he heard the groups Nolan Strong and the Diablos and Billy Ward and his Dominoes on the radio. He has cited Barrett Strong, a Detroit native, as a strong vocal influence. Citation needed. In 1955, he formed the first lineup of the Five Chimes with childhood friend Ronald White and classmate Pete Moore. 2 years later, they were renamed the Matadors and included Bobby Rogers. Another member, Emerson Sonny Rogers, Bobby Rogers' cousin, was replaced by his sister, Claudette Rogers, who would marry Smokey Robinson in 1959. The group's guitarist, Marv Tarplin, joined them sometime in 1958. The Matadors began touring Detroit venues around this time. Eventually they changed their name to The Miracles. In August 1957, Robinson and The Miracles met songwriter Berry Gordy after a failed audition for Brunswick Records. At that time during the audition, Robinson had brought along with him a big 10-inch notebook with 100 songs he wrote while in high school. Gordy was impressed with Robinson's vocals and even more impressed with Robinson's ambitious songwriting. With his help, The Miracles released their first single, Got a Job, an answer song to the Silhouettes' hit single Get a Job on End Records. It was the beginning of a long and successful collaboration. During this time, Robinson attended college and started classes in January 1959, studying electrical engineering. He dropped out after only 2 months, following The Miracles' release of their first record. Gordy formed Tamla Records, which was later reincorporated as Motown. The Miracles became one of the first acts signed to the label, although they had actually been with Gordy since before the formation of Motown Records. In late 1960, the group recorded their first hit single, Shop Around, which became Motown's first million-selling hit record. Between 1960 and 1970, Robinson would produce 26 top 40 hits with The Miracles as lead singer, chief songwriter and producer, including several top 10 hits such as You've Really Got a Hold on Me, Mickey's Monkey, I Second That Emotion, Baby Baby Don't Cry, and the group's only #1 hit during their Robinson years, The Tears of a Clown. Other notable hits such as Ooh Baby Baby, Going to a Go-Go, the multi-award-winning The Tracks of My Tears, Come Round Here, I'm the One You Need, The Love I Saw in You Was Just a Mirage, and More Love peaked in the top 20. In 1965, The Miracles were the first Motown group to change their name when they released their 1965 album Going to a Go-Go as Smokey Robinson and The Miracles. Between 1962 and 1966, Robinson was also one of the major songwriters and producers for Motown, penning many hit singles such as Two Lovers, The One Who Really Loves You, You Beat Me to the Punch and My Guy for Mary Wells, The Way You Do the Things You Do, My Girl, Since I Lost My Baby and Get Ready for the Temptations, Stillwater Love for the Four Tops, When I'm Gone and Operator for Brenda Holloway, Don't Mess with Bill, The Hunter Gets Captured by the Game and My Baby Must Be a Magician for the Marvelettes, and I'll Be Doggone and Ain't That Peculiar for Marvin Gaye. After the arrival of Holland Dozier Holland and the team of Norman Whitfield and Barrett Strong, Robinson was eclipsed as a top writer and producer for the label, and other Motown artists such as Gaye and Stevie Wonder began to compose more original material. Later in his career, Robinson wrote lyrics and music for the Contours such as First I Look at the Purse, as well as the Four Tops Still Water and the Supremes' Floyd Joy. The Other Miracles, Bobby Rogers, Pete Moore, Ronnie White, and Marv Tarplin collaborated with him as writers on many of these hits, and Pete Moore also doubled as co-producer with Robinson on several of them. By 1969, Robinson wanted to retire from touring to focus on raising his 2 children with his wife Claudette, and on his duties as Motown's vice president, a job he had taken on by the mid-1960s after Esther Gordy Edwards had left the position. However, the success of the group's Tears of a Clown made Robinson stay with the group until 1972. His last performance with the group was in July 1972 in Washington, D.C. After a year of retirement, Robinson announced his comeback with the release of the eponymous Smokey album in 1973. The album included the Miracles tribute song Sweet Harmony and the hit ballad Baby Come Close. In 1974, Robinson's second album, Pure Smokey, was released but failed to produce hits. Robinson struggled to compete with his former collaborators Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder and former Temptations member Eddie Kendricks, as all three had multiple hit singles during this period. Former Beatle George Harrison featured the track Pure Smokey on his 1976 album 33 1/3 as a tribute to Robinson. Harrison's fellow Beatles John Lennon and Paul McCartney were also fans of Robinson's songwriting, and the group covered You Really Got a Hold on Me on their second UK album with the Beatles and US album The Beatles' second album, respectively. Robinson answered his critics the following year with A Quiet Storm, released in 1975. The album launched 3 singles: the number 1 R&B hit Baby That's Back at You, The Agony and the Ecstasy, and Quiet Storm. The radio format Quiet Storm, originated by DJ Melvin Lindsay, is named after the album. However, Robinson's solo career suffered from his work as Motown's vice president, and his own music took the backseat. As a result, several albums including Smokey's Family Robinson, Deep in My Soul, Love Breeze, and Smokin' saw poor promotion and received bad reviews. At this point, Robinson relied on other writers and producers to help him with his albums. Following these albums, Robinson got out of a writer's block after his close collaborator and fellow Miracle, Marv Tarplin, who joined him on the road in 1973 after Robinson left the Miracles, presented him a tune he had composed on his guitar. Robinson later wrote the lyrics that became his first solo top 10 pop single, Cruisin'. The song hit number 1 in Cashbox and peaked at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. It also became his first solo number 1 in New Zealand. Robinson would follow a similar approach with his next album, Warm Thoughts, which produced another top 40 hit, Let Me Be the Clock, though it did not repeat the success of Cruisin'. Motown legend Smokey Robinson feared he would never sing again after his terrifying battle with COVID-19 late last year. Robinson has revealed he spent 11 days in acute care in a Los Angeles hospital after contracting the virus last December and was left so weak from the virus that he nearly died. The music icon, famed for his powerful octave-popping silky tones on hits like Tears of a Clown and Being With You, admitted that it was only after leaving hospital that he realized the severity of his case. Well guys, what are your thoughts? Do tell us. Thanks for watching.